and reward more the effort and the right attitude than the outcome itself.
Yeah.
According to the psychological field, they define self-compassion as, do we really find the time to connect with the students? Or tomorrow when you wake up, it can be a good day.
Yeah.
So this thinking that nothing is permanent, something is good, it can be bad.
Hello and welcome to VUMcast, the first student podcast. Today we have the pleasure of welcoming Ireene. She's a lecturer in research marketing at Varna University of Management. Very delighted to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for all of us. Can you please tell us a little bit more about your personal student experience? Because I know it was a long journey, very interesting one. So what would you share?
Yeah, that's like 2 decades ago. So I took my undergraduate degree in Manila, Philippines,
Right.
where I'm originally from. Then I worked for several years in big multinational companies.
Yeah.
After a couple of years, I decided that, hey, I want to explore the West, take a break from, the corporate stress and jungle, save up a bit to support myself to study abroad. And then I went to the US to took my master's. So I stayed in Washington, D.C. because I love the free museums. And it happened that one of the universities that I aspired to go to is there. That time, it took me 2 years to finish my master's. And it was such an amazing experience. And since I was a self-sustaining student at that time, meaning I don't have scholarship, I look for on-campus job opportunities. And one of those that I got that really ignited my track to academia is I became a teaching assistant for one of the international business professors. I helped him with his classes. I helped him with his publications. It was an amazing thing. And I realized this is better than working in the corporate world,
Yeah.
But then after graduation, since my experience is really in the commercial world, I worked for a while in New York City. I worked for an advertising agency. Then I went to a media company as well. And then I hit my 30s at that time. I'm like,
Right.
do I see myself living here in New York, in America? And I'm like, okay, it's fun. When you're single, you shop, you party. So I went back home to the Philippines and I said that maybe this is like a second chapter. So I went back to my home university and I said, I want to teach. And they
Okay.
said, okay, sure, why not? And then I find it really fun and meaningful because I was teaching where I came from. But, after staying for a while in the academe, they will tell you, hey, you know what? You might want to get a PhD. It's not enough to have a,
Right.
master's degree. So I look at various options and I applied to different scholarships in different parts of the world. And then I stumbled upon an opportunity in the UK, in Canterbury, because my boss then, when I was taking my master's in the US, got a special assignment in that university in the UK. And he said, you want to be my mentee? Then come. So I was like, oh, great, So I have to do all the application. And the bonus there was that we're clear that our research interests are aligned because he used to be my boss when I was teaching in
So
my master's.
you studied in the Philippines, the US, and the UK.
Yes.
Okay, very different places. What did you take away from each of them? In terms of your student experience, maybe
In terms of my
cultural
student
shock.
experience, it's really hard to be an international student, and I can empathize with those that I encounter every day in VUM as well, because as an international student, you're far away from home.
Yeah.
Other than the paperwork, you have to do 2 to 3 steps ahead of someone who's a local. It's really hard when the realities of life hit you. It's like you get sick, your parents aren't there.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to get sick in these countries. And then even friendships, it's different, So those kind of things. The seesaw effect of homesickness is there. And one day you're so ecstatic that you're in a different place, living your dream. And then the next day you wake up, why am I here? What am I doing? Is this worth giving up all the comforts of home? And it comes in bursts. So
Yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster.
it is,
isn't
and
it?
it's never ending.
Yeah.
And I realize it's just part of the
of life.
this
And real life experiences, actually, yes. You say you went to the UK because your mentor, your boss, invited you. What do you think is the role of a mentor in a student's life?
Actually, it's very, very important. And based on the story I told you a while ago, my mentor was able to open opportunities for me.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fine. I could have gotten PhD elsewhere in other universities doing the typical route of application, but I'm already steps ahead because I know who my mentor is already.
Yes.
And there's a bit of comfort to that. So finding the right mentor, it's very important for students. But at the same time, lecturers, teachers should also be more open
Yeah.
to this kind of like soft role to mentor. Sometimes, we're stuck up with, okay, pass the grades, do the exam, teach this, clock in, clock out, but do we really find the time to connect with the students and know them personally? So mentorship is very important.
Yes, and I think in the British educational system that is very well enhanced. What do you think is the benefit of studying in that system rather than some other that does not focus that much on the student, but rather on the professors, the teachers?
Based on my experience, I've seen that the British academic culture has closer gap between the student and the lecturer. It's not that they're friends, but the vibe is like you call your professor by their first name, and
Yes.
that's fine, vice versa. And also the expectations in terms of being open to each other
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
more well-rounded, I would say.
Yeah, and then I would also add that the responsibility of giving your personal example to students is a lot bigger for the professors and the teachers, and we do realize that students are watching us and we have to give a good example. So we step up, and I think that's great. I think this is something that Varna University of Management offers because of the dual degree system, and also because of the amazing staff that teach at the university. You had a great mentor, and now you are a mentor yourself.
I try to
Yeah.
pass on
Yeah.
the kind of experience that I had to the other students.
Yes, that's
I
wonderful.
try.
Yes, yes, we all do. And I think that students benefit a lot from that. Having all of this rich experience, what advice would you give to somebody who's now looking to apply to a university and maybe abroad or in Bulgaria? What advice would you give to these students who are just coming out of high school? They're wondering, they're searching.
I think it's important to keep your options open.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just listen to one track, which is what our parents tells us
Yeah.
where the rest of the friends are going to.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We should consider those because for sure they have great intentions, like our parents and friends. But we have to keep the options open, specifically when we're doing the research part. Give it a try to look at non-traditional ways of even funding
Yeah.
your studies or non-traditional ways of like approaching what university path should be.
Yes, yes, that's very good and very interesting. You mention it because, as you said before, being an international student puts you under a lot of pressure and stress, even with financing. And even if you have supportive parents, you might feel a bit left out or a bit stressed, depressed, even. What advice would you also add to this conversation to students who are already at university and might be experiencing some kind of pressure?
First, it's good to have a good social clique.
Yes.
Make sure you're in the right clique.
Yes.
So that's be choosy and be particular about the people you surround with because you'll kind of absorb their mindsets. If you're with a negative group of people who are always complaining about what's not right in the world, then that's how you're going to think for the rest of your university life, feeling like you're a victim. However, if you feel like you're in the right kind of group who motivates, who are authentic, can talk about problems, concerns, but in a different light, then that's the most important thing, I would say. Make sure you're in the right group and you are very choosy who
Yes.
you spend your time and energy with.
Yes, I think even if somebody is more of an introvert, they prefer their own company. I think coming out of that comfort zone and maybe meeting people, trying to overcome that limitation, and going around the university, going to the events that
Yeah.
we host, would also benefit them. So, do you think the university experience outside of the classroom is also very, very important? And what do you try to do for your students to enhance that?
It's it's equally important as what's going on inside the classroom, because I believe learning is not like a linear path or
Yeah.
something that's straight. It Especially in what I teach, which is research, management, corporate social responsibility, as much as there are theories we latch on and memorize and use academic reference and all, half of it is science, yes, but half of it is art, like how you deal with people, how you manage stress,
Yeah.
how to deal with conflict. If you don't like your boss, you don't like your coworkers, well, there's no amount of grade that would say you'll be good at that until you're
Yeah.
faced with something. So, specific to my course, the courses that I teach, it is equally important to expose oneself to the realities of life, to social situations, to how things are as it is beyond the
Yeah.
four walls of the classroom. So, for example, we love to go to career fairs.
Yes.
Yeah, so students can get to talk to recruiters, HR people, find a way to say, "Oh, the values of this company matches with my own. I
Yeah.
see myself working for them," or maybe not because of certain interactions they may have. We also like to go to companies or like SMEs who's doing the work that we discuss in class.
Yes.
So in Barna, there's not a lot, but a handful of social enterprises. So we go to these, especially the one that we have right in our campus. Do you
Yeah.
know that in our canteen, in our cafeteria, they are employing people with disabilities. So
Yes.
this kind of conversation, we hold it outside of the classroom, and we also go to the public library, actually, because of the
Yes.
events that's going on there and the resources that's present to the students for
Yes.
further reading or interest.
Okay, so apart from the academic teaching, you always focus on personal development. Thinking about the industry in which you have worked and regarding which you teach now, how important is personal development at the moment?
Very, very important, especially in the realm of like ChatGPT, AI,
Yeah.
and all. At some point, we don't know how these AI platforms will be as intelligent or more intelligent than human
Yeah.
beings performing rational tasks. But right now, the big debate is how can you put some humanity to it or emotion?
Yeah.
So maybe some parts of what we're discussing in class at some point, AI can do it better than the students. But if there's one thing that's kind of certain that a computer cannot do is creative thinking, critical thinking, and making complex data into simple things, thinking strategically, making choices, and also dealing with colleagues.
Yes.
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 So that's another topic. And also finding purpose. I don't think ChatGPT can do that, give
Yeah.
purpose to people. But as leaders or managers, this is something that must be cultivated more, because as much as there's more and more automation, more human traits would be required from future leaders and managers.
Yes, yes, that's true. I do agree with everything you said. Uh, I'd like to give a sneak peek of anybody who's watching who might want to enroll at the university, of what you do in the course. Is there anything that's particular, that's different, that you believe is a strong point of your course, research marketing?
Yes, we, other than like what I said, using theoretical frameworks, which apparently in this world right now, you can easily go to Coursera and just
Yeah,
download it.
yeah,
What's the value add of like going to VUM, having these classes in this particular modules is that we try to make use of complex data and make meaning out of it. So it's not a question of do we have the data? Of course, there is too much actually
Yeah.
around us in the internet, but synthesizing everything and making meaningful conclusions
Analysis.
out of it and being able to make strategic choices, that's something that's kind of hard to accomplish with just a MOOC online. It's
Yes.
something that you learn iteratively with your professor, with your classmates during group works, and
Yes.
it's mostly coming from human
Yeah.
interaction, each exchange of ideas, being able to debate and argue constructively about a particular topic or stand on a particular issue. Yeah, I think that's it. But other than that, what's very clear also is that from my experience being in VUM for the past 3 years, 4 years,
Yeah.
is that the classroom environment in itself is very rich with multicultural knowledge and like
Yeah.
multicultural experience because like now in my class people are coming from more than 10 countries.
Yeah.
And just imagine when we have our case studies, there are different perspectives coming from people from different cultures, and that in itself is, I think, very meaningful in terms of learning.
Yes, it opens up a conversation about all the different cultures, and yeah, that's very valuable, I think, for any student to come into this kind of environment, which is international,
Yes.
and you also get it for the Bulgarian students. You receive this kind of information in your own country, which is amazing. But then for international students to travel to Europe and also get to know the Bulgarian
Exactly.
culture is
It's
very
mutually
valuable.
beneficial. So it's
Yeah.
not just between me and the students, but
Mm-hmm.
also among them. There's a
Yeah.
lot of conversations going on, and other than gaining knowledge from
Mm-hmm.
each other, it's just like opening someone's heart to
Yeah.
somebody else who's different from what they're
Yeah.
used to
Yes.
do. So I think that's amazing. Yeah.
Yes. It's a very vibrant place to be, and I really enjoy it as well. I know that you also focus a lot on advertising in your course and how it affects consumers. And I know this is one of your personal passions. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the background is that this topic came about when I was doing my PhD. And when you're doing research, it's not a one track thing where in just a day you figure out what you want to do. So there's a lot of like reading here and there, and I realized after a while, like, gosh, I would be writing something for the next 4 to 5 years in my
Yeah.
life. It must be something I want to write about,
Yeah.
And one thing that kind of opened my eyes when I was working for a multinational company back in Asia was how beauty brands are marketing or advertising their products to consumers, specifically telling non-white people that hey, the standard of beauty is a fair, white, bright skin.
Yeah.
So other than realizing that these companies are making billions of dollars out of these projects, it's just that I find it a bit cruel that that companies are doing this, charging super huge gross margin
Yeah.
just to get profit, selling these products to people that they have to feel for people who feels like they need to change something about
Yes.
themselves. So from a book perspective, that's amazing. You can earn a lot of money, you can make profit from someone who's insecure about something. It's easier to sell that kind of product. And I realize, I'm a female, I'm non-white. I also feel kind of cheated
Yeah.
that there are these companies who have lots of money to overpower that kind of narrative to inside the heads of consumers.
Yeah, and feed on people's insecurities. We do see a lot of change in that field. However, I think still there are some examples of advertisements and beauty brands that do feed out of people's and mainly women's insecurities. So that's very interesting to open up and talk about that to the students as well. So you also focus on advertising and the impact on consumers. Do you give any particular and practical advice for the business, the future business owners who are our students, on how to market their product in a humane, personal way rather than what we see in big companies and big brands?
Yeah, I mean, the way to do it is to sell through facts
Yeah.
and non-exaggeration.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but then if businesses have a lot of sales target on their minds and profit targets, that would be a bit of a long shot thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. I've seen a brand doing this. If you're aware of The Ordinary,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So they're trying to debunk whatever the beauty industry has told women
Yeah. For the
decades
last.
ago.
Yeah.
Like, and just be straightforward about things. Sell their products at an affordable price. Otherwise, they're just going to use money to pay for expensive endorsers and so on and so forth. So that would be my advice. It may not be the advice a business wants to hear, who wants to
Yes.
make profit right away, but that's the right way to do. Just be truthful and sell based on rational, but we know selling based on emotion is more powerful.
Yes. 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 What impact do you think the type of advertising that focuses on only just one type of beauty has on well-being of the well-being of the consumers? What kind of impact, in your
Yeah,
opinion?
studies have shown that it has a negative impact because we're putting beauty in such a hierarchy that
Yes.
this is the best kind, this is the second, third, fourth, and and based on the research that I've done, there's this self-discrepancy theory that's widely embraced in the psychology field that tells us that if a person feels like her actual self, like where she is right now, versus where she wants to be,
Yeah.
has a huge gap, then that can be a precursor to depression or anxiety.
Yes.
So a lot of scholars has focused on that, and a lot of experiments and leading insights would tell us that it's not the best way to sell,
Yeah.
looking at consumers' well-being point of view.
Yes, yes. So again, we kind of go back to personal development and self-awareness. Uh, Again, if the consumer is well developed in their personality and they're grounded in who they are, then the strategy of these companies wouldn't work that well. So again, we're going back to this same topic, and we see how important it really is. What do you personally do in your life to enhance your personal perspective of yourself and maybe work on your personal development?
That's a tough question.
Yes, yes.
I wish I have the answer, but I think, to be honest, there are good days.
Yeah.
There are not so good days wherein you kind of negatively self-talk.
Yeah.
But the way I try to practice right now, I'm not yet there, is to give myself a bit of self-compassion.
Yeah.
According to the psychological field, they define self-compassion as talking to yourself like how would you talk to a friend. So when you have a friend, you don't talk negatively to the friend.
Yeah.
You're kind of giving them a bit of hope, but still grounded on reality. So this is what I try to practice when I have these moments like I feel like I made a mistake. I feel like I'm such a loser. I feel like, oh, I'm so imperfect. So I try to practice self compassion and say, hey, yes, you know, everyone makes mistake and just take it easy.
Yes.
Stop replaying those things that you're telling yourself because you need to be compassionate to yourself and you should be yourself's best friend.
Yes, yes. I think it's called the imposter syndrome. And I think we all struggle with that at some point. And it's a good thing to hear when somebody else, especially a mentor, a person who is somebody we look up to, that they also have these kind of days and they also have these kind of problems. And I'm thinking now about especially the exam periods. I feel for students are the time when they over exaggerate the results, over exaggerate how bad things are going, and they self doubt a lot. What do you think about this period? What advice would you give to a first year, even second year, third year student who's struggling with exams, even students at high school? The pressure is on, and especially from parents, from families. What would you say to them in
I,
preparation for the
yes,
exams?
there still should be a sense of control in a way wherein you try to prepare for whatever's going to go in the exam or in life, but also accept that you don't have a crystal ball to say that
Yeah.
you know what's going on. So the most that you can do is control what you can control, which is to prepare, to study, do your best. And if things don't happen to be exactly what you're expecting, then just be a bit kinder to yourself and say, that's already beyond my control. I did my best.
Yeah.
So I try to practice this also with my kids, but not all the time. But I try
Yeah.
to praise more their efforts than the outcome so that they grow to have like this growth mindset thing
Yes.
and reward more the effort and the right attitude than the outcome itself.
Yes, and
So,
then when you get the result, even if it's not the best one, and even if you don't pass, you have another chance.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
can go again and try. And if you pass, but the result is not the best, that's not the end of the world. I think
That's right.
students,
Yeah.
they perceive their marks as who they are. What would you say about that? The fact that sometimes we think, oh, okay, if I got this mark, then it means this is my worth.
Yeah. So I'll latch a bit on some Buddhist philosophy
Yeah.
about impermanence. Nothing is permanent. So we're not denying the fact that if you fail, you're not failing. You still failed, but think that this is not permanent.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, this can be different. Or when
Yeah.
I get the second chance or receipt, it can be different. Today is a bad day, and the next minute or tomorrow when you wake up, it can be a good day.
Yeah.
So this thinking that nothing is permanent, something is good, it can be bad. So don't also like feel like glory is forever or cling to it. And if something is not really that good or bad, then it's also not forever. There's always hope.
Yeah.
There's always a tomorrow. So
Yes.
I guess it's more of like a mindset thing. I have no concrete advice like what to do step A and B
Yeah.
and C. It's mindset, but a mindset is like a muscle, you practice it. So I think this is how it is. Just trying to let go and say everything is impermanent. Things can
Yeah.
change and this bad mood can be good mood in 1 minute or so, or bad outcomes can be turned to good outcomes later on.
Yes. Yes, I do agree with that. And I think students, when they come from high school, they are institutionalized in a way.
Yes.
And then when they come to the university, they see that they have more freedom, not complete freedom, but more freedom. And now it's up to them to do what they want and to complete the projects that they have the way they want to complete them and in the time they want to complete them. And I feel that they struggle and are stressed because of the freedom, because they now have to make their own choices. And did you experience anything similar when you went to the US and then the UK, just
Yes.
outside of the Philippines?
Yes, definitely. So I'll answer your question based on what I've experienced and what
Yes.
I observe in the students. First, with my experience, it's just I have to unlearn a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, not because this is how it's done in the university in the Philippines, means that it's going to work when I go to the university in the US and in the UK. So, I have to unlearn things that, you know, I have to calibrate something, adjust things here and there to achieve what my personal goals are for going there,
Yes.
like learning and meeting people, networking, which is very important as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, it's more of like questioning. I even have to question how I was brought up. So it
Yeah.
gave me a good self awareness. So I know how to place myself or calibrate. But then again, this is a continuous thing.
Yeah.
Even being here in Bulgaria or Varna right now, I'm still kind of sometimes in a limbo. It's like, yeah, what is the norm? This is
Yeah.
what I think things are supposed to be. But okay, things are different in different places. For the students, it's also related to what I said from my personal experience. They have to be open to unlearn things, not because the system or the mindset or the educational paradigm that they've been used to from primary school up to 12th grade, that, hey, I'm talking about my observation,
Yeah.
because I mean, there's no perfect educational
Yeah.
system, but what I've noticed here in Bulgaria, there's a fixation on mathematics and Bulgarian language, and on examination and on grades.
Yes.
So I can't blame my students if they come to university and the thinking is just like, my worth is just based on the exam. So I have to remind them that yes, the exams are important. You follow the rules. Grades are kind of indicators of what you've learned, but there's a bit more leeway,
Yeah.
I would say, in VUM specifically. I can't
Yeah.
speak for other Bulgarian universities in terms of acknowledging that it's a person is just not measured based on grades and exam.
Yeah.
So we also understand that sometimes there are life events that happen that we have to consider on student per student basis, and that there is a deeper desire among people in VUM to kind of know the student beyond just a name,
Yeah.
a grade, and an exam, or a forced ranking, like someone is top one, top two, top three, something like that. So
Yes.
the advice is try to unlearn some of the things that we've been conditioned to think of prior to going to university.
Yes, yes, that's very valuable. And I'm thinking also now of, I'd like to have your perspective on if we imagine that now a student, high school student is watching us and they are struggling, they don't know where to go, what to study, should I follow my parents' path, should I do what I want, or should I just skip university altogether? What perspective can you bring to this conversation, having studied in different places, and maybe also think about when you're a student, what advice would you need in that moment based on your interests?
I would say there's no cookie cutter approach to things.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go back to what I said, not because everyone is doing it or you're hearing people that they're doing this and that means that you should also do it. So, you know your situation well, you know what you're capable of. So, you just have to be true to yourself. I don't see anything wrong taking a year gap just
Yeah.
to figure things out so that when you feel like you're mentally, emotionally, financially ready to go to university, you can give it all. If that's the situation that's best for you, then there's nothing wrong. Even most of your friends started university as well.
Yeah.
And some of you may feel like you have to take a particular path just because everyone is doing it. If that's really your interest and that's something that you feel like you see yourself doing in the next few years, why not? But if it's not, just stay true to your desires. And
Yes.
I think in most cases, if you want to pursue what's authentic to yourself, there will be a lot of hurdles.
Yes.
So just be ready for it, but take it as a good sign that you're
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
going towards the right path. Because if it's too easy and too smooth, then perhaps
It's not
there's
the right
something
one.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. And especially if the parents don't agree sometimes with the chosen path of the student, the child, I think it creates a little bit of tension. However, I think if students manage to overcome that and they say what they want and how they want it, it builds character. So in the end, you win more if you step up and be true to yourself rather than just go with the path that somebody else has chosen and maybe waste 4 years and then realize you don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it's wonderful. To finalize now, I'd like to ask you, your children are still small, is that
Yes,
correct?
they are. I have
Yes.
a 2-year-old son and 7-year-old. They're both
Yes.
boys. Yeah.
So looking to the future, they're probably going to be students themselves in the future. What advice would you give to them? What do you imagine they would be like? And when they get to that point where they want to pursue a university degree, what would you give them as advice and support? And just your perspective as a mother.
Oh, it would take 1 hour. But just to cut it short, I would tell them, go ahead. You're independent, you're grown up. I trust that you're making the right decision for yourself. But I'm not saying you're perfect and you cannot make mistakes. So if in case you're in doubt and at some point you realize you want to take a U-turn, as a parent, I'm here waiting for you.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful ending to our interview. I'm very happy we had you today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. And I'd like to address our watchers now, the people who might be watching us, and say, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Find Varna University of Management on TikTok, LinkedIn, and all the social media. And we'll be happy to have you again in the next episode.